Basur, what are some of the big changes, or rather biggest changes that you've seen in the business landscape in the last few years? Specifically, as a CFO, how have your priorities changed?
Happens whether at a product or a service solution level, how interface and interaction is happening between the different stakeholders. The scale has completely changed on the digital side, and probably I'm talking about the more organized sector. The unorganized or less organized is yet to experience that change.
The planning for the new normal, right? I mean, it's going to be. I mean, the days of past are over. We'll never see them back, right? And it's the digital journey has proven that it's possible to do that, and hence it's now about. I don't know if you see it that way. There's actually a phase of acceleration, even more. But your thoughts in terms of how.
And deploying the right tools, the right tackles, and the right solutions, and making sure people and there's a change element involved here, because obviously, just to say that, look here, there is this solution available, this application available, you just go and implement it and then your life will be different, doesn't work. There is a change management transformation involved here. So how does that get reasonably successfully or reasonably effectively handled is another challenge. This is a classical example. How the GST framework is, the assessees are equally well wired to manage the transactional and the compliance end of the GST. So that's one example of how it's not just corporates or companies or business entities they need to get the focus sorted out on digitization. Even the regulators and the entire revenue framework is shifting. And see what has happened on the income tax side. It's becoming digitized. So it is changing, and it actually changed very rapidly. And that is, my view is, that is for the better. It is going to be beneficial for the country in the long run. Old age outsourcing, vanilla outsourcing no longer works. And how to get to a stage where, to begin with, there is a very high level of digitized interaction between the, let's say, suppliers and the company. How they are, what is the status of their invoices, their payments, and if there's any rejection, if there's any whatever. So everything is now, so they don't have to rely on any human being to tell them about the status. So that brings transparency, and that makes it more experientially better for a supplier. It saves a lot of time of our internal stakeholders, so the buyers basically. Response time now, or the call to action, if the market dynamics change, requires businesses to become more agile and more on their feet, and far more responsive than probably what businesses were able to afford.
On how do you look at that, right, in terms of solving these evolving concerns? I mean, these are here to stay, right, and the ability to assess, react becomes even more important, and we need the best brains to do it, right? And sometimes how do you look at it? Is it more you like to rely on strategic partners who look at tech plus ops? Are you looking at setting up your own COEs? Any thoughts around that?
Kind of having a completely indigenized or self-developed portal through which this entire interaction happens, and we then co-located our teams. That was the difference. We co-located few of our teams physically in the premises of an outsourced service provider to manage this process and the process deliverables in a highly engaged manner, rather than just saying this is the vanilla outsourcing and these are your SLA tags and so on and so forth. Challenge and opportunity both. Who knows, few years from now, a majority of finance transactions or underlying processes will be blockchain enabled, and probably this has already started in some sectors. So then you're in a situation where you're having these smart contracts where your counterparties without having a bank in between, for example, how do you transact with a foreign supplier or even a domestic supplier or a customer?